So as you guys see that I was able to finally make it to 450, and now that I, you know, reached to this power level, I feel it's time to speak up. It's time to address few things and focus really on what was this journey to make it to to 450, and then really just focus on the positive and the negative of what this expansion brought to us. I mean, it's not all just negative. I'm pretty sure that we all have our thoughts and opinions, and our thoughts and opinions will most likely be good or bad, mostly bad, and I'll get to that. But before I start, I should probably have an introduction to myself, because anyone have the right to speak and share their opinions, like whether a well-known streamer or your average Disney player. We all can do this. Anyone can do this. Just speak up, basically. But also, I don't think anyone should just speak. What that means is that if you're gonna talk, I think you should have facts to back you up, stats to back you up, experience to back you up, hours spent in the game, and of course, grind that you've earned. And of course, it's all the privilege of time, but it's also like this privilege of time that you spend, this amount of hours to get to a certain power level or certain anything in the game, really. But you will have to have a little bit of experience and knowledge to get to a certain point. So a little bit of background about me. I go by Accessner, and I usually in the game I'm known as a raider, to be more specific, a clear farmer. And that might not be a category for everyone. It has its ups and downs, and it has its, the good and the bad. But I'm not just a raid farmer. I'm not just a raider. I'm also a very passionate player. And the reason why I want to voice myself here as a passionate Destiny player is that the main thing of this subject is I've been playing this game since 2017, like since the launch, and I never quit, I never stopped. And again, I'll show a few things to prove that. Like I said, like if I'm gonna speak up, I better have facts to back me up. And I personally spend over 20,000 hours in the game. And again, you can call it whatever you want to call it, no life, and you name it. But that's not the purpose of why I'm saying what I'm saying. And it's not a flex. It's not give me attention. It's just a passionate Destiny player that cares about this game, that it's part of his life, part of his identity. And I think it's time to speak up. So just kind of having like this introduction. And the main focus here, if the passionate player is complaining, and I'm about to complain soon, it should be a wake-up call to, Bungie and the devs and the whole team in general, like Bungie in general. And that's my statement. If the passionate player is complaining, what are you leaving to the casual average player? That's a problem. And since 2017 until now, I never really felt the need to speak up. I've complained over the years about many things, but not to this level. So it's kind of like, this is it, Bungie. We've reached a level of just, this is ridiculous. This is insane. You're not hearing us. You're doing a great job in many, topics, but you also don't do, you don't do well in other subjects in general. So like, it's a problem. So for me as a person, as a Destiny player, like I said, I've spent half of my time in raid, and I spend basically whatever Bungie had to throw at me as a Destiny player, I had to go for it. And like, for example, if I go back to like my raiding experience, this is like, I guess my resume, it's not a flex, it's not anything, but I've been there since the Leviathan days, whether I've done this as a full clear or a checkpoint. And then I continued this legacy for all of this, as you can see, and it goes on. And as also a passionate player that not just clear farmed, I've also did some speedrunning, some low mans. I'm not a speedrunner, I'm not a low manner, but I've done them. I usually look myself as a clear farmer and a Sherpa that I've taught many people since the Eater of World days. And again, easy to access, just type Accessner raid report, raid hub, and you'll get all the information. As you can see, like last wish and all that. So like, again, I'm giving a little bit about, myself as a resume. So I understand, like, hey, I'm not just talking because, I don't have anything to back me up before I get into this big discussion. And it's going to be a very long discussion, and I'm going to try to get to the point. So as you can see, like, I spend a lot of my time in raids. Like I said, whether it's to teach and whether it's to clear farm or speedrun or low man, and whatever category has, like, we know of as like raiders. But also at the same time, I played, like I said, over 20,000 hours. This is my final blows. No, I did not AFK. No, I did not cheat my final blows. I'm a console player. And so that's my final blows over the years. It averaged about a mil in a year. And then as you can see, total seals, 71 titles. And I used to triumph hunt. This is not the max triumph score for this, but I used to triumph hunt. So when we go to journey and let's say like showing legacy Paragon. Paragon pretty much since the introduction to it, the season of Defiance, as you can see, I went Paragon on all of them. And again, it has nothing to do with flex or show off, but it's like I played the game. And then it also, like, one good thing is like it shows you how long you played. Yes, I had the privilege of time to play the game and no life hit. So enough to give me the right to speak about what's really going on and my thoughts, and maybe give a good feedback there. Like, we play the game, we did the Paragons, we did the titles from the original days, like active titles, legacy titles, you can see here. We put the work. And then of course going back to like triumph score, like I still missing few, kind of like honestly not in a good place to even continue. We'll get to that, but like I pulled the work. So as a Disney player that cares about titles, basically whatever Bungie decide to throw at you, it's done. As a passionate raider, it's done. And I didn't stop there. I continued with other things like Crucible. I'm not a Crucible player. This is not a discussion of a Crucible. I feel like other people out there in the community who are Crucible passionate players will address the Crucible better than me. But I put a good 1,000 to 1,200 hours, and I've done my share. But it's not me, or I'm not a Charles player as well. Definitely played some Gambit. This is also another topic that is not, and not just like, I didn't just stop there in sense of, when you hunt the title, I also guild titles. I may be missing a guild or two because, again, I'm working on them, but I've guilded them to the max guild possible. So now that I introduce myself as like, hey, I'm a passionate raider that understands the raiding community in sense of like all aspect, and not necessarily professional in sense of, let's say, speedrunning or low manning, but enough to understand, about them. And then, about raids pretty much, and raid sherpas and raid farms. So I have the background to back me up as a raider, and I have the background to back me up as a Destiny player, that whatever Destiny decided to throw at me, I faced it. Now we get to the 450 journey, right? We did the grind, and all I have to tell you, this grind is the way it felt. It felt like a prison. It felt like isolation, where you just sit in a last sector, because again, that's the fastest way, that's the most efficient way, and just to get to this, just so you can shower yourself at the end of the day with tier 5 or tier 4s, tier 5s, just to get to this level, which definitely matters. Now, when I look to this screen as a Destiny player, that as we know it, when we log on in the game, we have our power level, we got our rank, and we got our stats, and then of course a little bit of armor advantages, and you got your weapons, and then obviously the basic, you got your super, whether any form of super, and your ghost, as we know it. what do we know the game is? Emotes, okay, let's customize and you name it. So this is something that we used to. Now, the changes to the stats, I think it's amazing. It will make you more broken if you just take the time to get 200 melee, for example. You will deal 30% PvE damage. So of course, the stats game changing. And then if you want to do like a damage rotation, as at let's say a Titan, for example, like this is on a Titan, as you can see, then obviously you want to do like 150 supers with fawns, and then like that's 200 and 200 weapons, or 200 200. So of course that's the end game, that's the grind if you care to do it. And then other classes have their own stats. So it's, when it comes to the stats, phenomenal change. It will make you more broken. It will, like, let's say here I'm 114. If I get a piece of armor that's gonna put me at 115, I'm gonna delete this current one and get that to just become 115. So that's the grind. It's phenomenal. Like I said, it's something that we want. We want to get our stats to be better. Same with weapons. We got, when you look to this, for example, it's just tier 5. All of your hard work to earn a weapon like this with triple perks. You got the enhanced perks here, advantages. It matters. Like, okay, I'm gonna do rerun, I'm gonna do demo, like based on what you want. And same goes with other weapons here, for example. These are things that I've grinded for, put the effort to. And when we look to this, we want this. We live for this, and it's just obviously amazing. Now, when you look to this, we have new weapons, new perks, and then the tiers, perfect. New stats, advantages, perfect. There's no problem about this. But to get to this, not so perfect. When you look to, the, like what we have right now as a Destiny players, you got this. You got the portal basically, and the portal is kind of like, all right, it's a new idea. We are not used to it as Destiny players because we are used to this. When we get on the game, we're used to this. And of course, over the years since 2017 until 2025, slowly we got more. Like, got Pale Heart, Neptune, Savathun, and you name it. And then we added the introduction to Legend tabs here, OG Volta Glass, OG Crota's End, and Kingsfall. And all I have to say, when you brought Volta Glass, Crota's End, and Kingsfall, and it's not just me because I hear it a lot. Where is our Wrath of the Machine? Where is it? If you already brought 3 from the original Destiny and enhanced it and worked it out and all that, reprised it, where is Wrath of the Machine? But again, that's not even the subject, but where is Wrath of the Machine? And we got dungeons over the years since Shatter up to the latest one. Perfect. No problem. This is how we used to it. But basically, Bungie, what she decided is to say, F this. I'm sorry for the language, but he said F to all of this. And then let's focus on this. Now, when you look to, the portal, it's organized in a sense. But let me just demonstrate to you a few things that it's just like, what are you doing here? And I'm just gonna simply go to Crucible. Again, I'm not a Crucible player, someone can address this better than me, but look to this, just a simple thing as this. We have the Crucible, we have control, okay, normal, we've been used to control since forever, and then you got competitive, normal, and then you get this. Just clicking on this for a little bit. Oh wait, I can't even enter it because I go here for a second and then this. I think we all agree on this modifier to be one of the worst idea ever to come to Destiny. This is basically being forced to run exclusive armor just for the fact that if you want to play and upgrade and get better armor or weapons in certain events you're gonna do, you need to have exclusive, which is basically buy this new expansion, pay money so you can do this. Because otherwise, if you don't have that, you won't be able to enter this because exclusive armor. I can't even do it. The reason I can't do it because I have to set up in a stupid way. Like, for example, I don't want to run, like, grenade launchers are good in Crucible. I don't want to run them, but let's say this. See, I can't even do my class item. So I have to run it this way. Having featured exotics, limited list of it, exotics, and then yay, I can enter it, but I'm not gonna do it because it's not. And then here it's fine, bonus, all that control. But you see the problem here when you look to this list, it's in front of you right here, and you can all see it. Gap, gap, gap. And then we go to pinnacle, gap, gap, and now we're in the fire team. Now the fire team, when I look to this, ignore, 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 and then you have, oh, battlegrounds, more battlegrounds, more battlegrounds. Remove this strike already, please. Like, just please remove this already. Decent. You know, we love this one sometimes. And then this used to be fun. Now it's too long. Remove it. Okay. Fine. Fine. Why? Why? Times 3 of why? Nobody wants to do this. Trust me. I know some people will enjoy strikes, maybe empire hunts. That's fine. Someone will enjoy battlegrounds. I'm not dissing the players of, you know, what they like and what they don't like, but we're dissing the system that it's limited. We're dissing the system that it's not really what we want, and it has a lot of time consuming into battlegrounds. It just feels like Bungie just wants you to play and sit more and more and more just to show numbers that, hey, we have a player base and they're playing, and it's like a business step at the end of the day. And it is business. I'm not gonna go and like say it's not. It is business. They gotta make money. They gotta show numbers, and that's understandable. But treat the player right. I know I'm probably going to be very distracted in my thoughts, and I'm going to be all over the place because it's coming from the bottom of my heart. It's not like I have a script that I'm reading, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go in and then see what really we can do here. But when I look to this, like I said, it's just a problem. And let me demonstrate to you one single thing here. Now, this is the focus right now. It's called Fire Team, right? And then when you click, let's say the middle one here, let's click on this. And then matchmaking is on. Perfect. I'm going to go and get 2 other players. And we're not even going to speak about the quality of what you're going to get. Obviously, you know, it's matchmaking. So either you get 2 good teammates or you're not. Or better, try to play with your friends. In theory. Well, let's say and focus on in theory for that. Now, the problem here, it's minus 40. Okay? Which is a lot. The average player of Destiny, like legit, we're talking about maybe 95%, even higher. I'm just trying to be a little bit, estimate, like, you know, try to estimate here. 95%, if not maybe 98, are not capable to survive this minus 40. And then you're like, well, just customize it. You don't have to do that. Okay, let's just customize it really quick. All right, do whatever stats you like. Okay, it doesn't matter. Here's the problem. Now confirm it. Oh, wait. Matchmaking just got off. So but wait, it's Fire Team. It's no longer Fire Team. If you're not playing with friends or clan, it's no longer a Fire Team. This should not be called Fire Team. If you're going to force me to play minus 40 with the quality of the 2 players that I'm going to get for this, I might not even survive. They're going to die. I'm going to go to orbit. I just wasted my time. And then I go here, and then, you know, you got the Whisper right now. It's featured. Mint-Tretch Greats. Let's go get that. Cool. You can do this in like 5 to 10 minutes based on your skill level and knowledge, and you name it. And same goes with here. But why there's a little bit of discrimination here and a gap. So we have these 2 gaps. Fill them. It doesn't take a genius. Just fill them. This, just looking at this, it means that there's no diversity. There is lack of what to do. When you have so much you can pour into the game, and you do, you can always create more, or just pour it from what we have from the original days. And I know they addressed this, but why do we have to speak up, give feedback, and complain, and then it gets fixed? In theory, it gets fixed, but it should have been just there. Like, you should not have a gap in a game. That means you're limited. That means you don't even understand how to design a game proper. And now the issue here, when you look to this, and I understand the difficulty between all of them. If you really to be realistic, none of these are difficult. But this one will be longer than, of course, this or StarCross, for example. Here you have completion reward 3, and then here you got 2, and then here you got 1, and then here you got 2. I don't understand why kind of like it feels that there's a discrimination. That's not like, again, a big deal, but why can't they all reward the same? Is it because this is longer and this is short? But I mean, again, it's just, we always want more. I'm not asking give us so much, but just fair amount to feel that the grind has a purpose. And then, for the love of God, fill these 2, okay? And like I said, go in here, fill these 3, fill more. Let me go down to another page. Where is Mayhem? You know, just where is Normal Clash? Just, you know, either create things or pour things from the old stuff. And I know the world tab, like right now, when you really look to it, like Crucible, it's also empty. Lockdown, momentum control, and Rumble. And if you do this, by the way, if you do these things, it doesn't reward you the new stuff. So I get it. I get it. This is the classic, but it doesn't give you anything that's going to be beneficial. So pour this and go back to the new system. I like this. This is what I'm used to since Destiny 1. Since 2017, since Destiny got launched, I'm used to this. I'm not saying this new system is bad or anything. I'm not saying it's bad. It's organized. Like, okay, I want, you know, like when you really look to it, fire team, like, okay, I want a class item, I go here. It tells you, it limits you grind, but realistically, I can't even access this for the reasons I said. It's minus 40, the quality of the 2 guys you're going to get, the 2 players. They're not gonna, it might be good, it might be bad. It doesn't end well. Most of the time it doesn't end well, unless you play your stack team, your friends, and the people you have communication with. And then if you choose to customize because, oh, minus 40 is too much for me, and then it's low and longer off, and now you're left by yourself. Let's say none of your friends are on, and you have no one late at night, you're just chilling, you can't do that. And then if you do Pinnacle, you still required, it's off, and you're still required to go and pull a finder and all of that, which is fine. Nothing but respect to the finder or the LFG experience in general. So you're really forced to like to say F all of this, and I'm just gonna go to my favorite thing of all time, which is solo ops. This been done so many times that people grinding Caldera farm. We became Caldera defenders, that even someone decided to have a Caldera website for completions and whatnot. That's our life. It became Caldera, K1, Caldera, K1. Well, in my case, I don't like these 2. I can be judged for that. I like creation personally. Like I got to this grind, you know, doing creation. The salt mines, don't get me started. Like, don't get me started. Complex is fine. This is fine. Don't get me started. I enjoy this a lot. I don't know why, I just enjoyed it. Caldera used to, you know, what we grinded the most. And Skywatch is decent. And then K1 is also like, you know, they're really fast. Now, another thing is that I never thought to really even talk about. I don't even remember if it's here. I think somewhere around here. I think destination. Somewhere around here. Let's see. I don't remember where. But basically, oh, here. Last sector completions. You know, the crazy thing is, playing since 2017 up to this moment, I think I had 1,000, maybe 1,200 last sectors over the years. This is all over the years. Whether you farm exotics, the original, do the quest, do the triumph. I doubled this number in the course of a month, or maybe like a month, like 5 weeks, maybe a month to 5 weeks. I doubled that, which means all I've done in the game is sitting in last sector to accomplish 450 just to get these beautiful weapons. Is it worth it? Honestly, you want my truth? It is not worth it. It is not. Because the thing is, if I want this roll, right? Let's say kinetic tremors and then rewind. Let's say you want that. I'm okay to get just these two perks and settle down. I'm not gonna use high ground. I don't see myself using multi-kill clips. And okay, just like settle down. But of course, you want more. You want more. But to get to more, it's prison, it's torture, it's just you being trapped and you can't do anything. And the worst part is that, you have a problem once you hit to 400 and then you want to make it to 450. The drop rate, 5%. Now, who really decide that thought that a player should go and farm in anything they do, but again, we will choose solo ops because that's the fastest method, that's the best method, because it's fun, which forces you as a player and in a social game that is built on talking to others, communicating with others, having fun with others. And I remember in 2017 when Bungie's like addressed clans and they hyped it so much that clans, you're gonna join a clan and have fun. So it's all about that social aspect of Destiny, like to talk to others. And I understand there's solo players out there and they have their stories of why they choose to solo. But I felt for the first time in Destiny that I was forced to step away from my friends and clan just because I wanted to hit a goal and I isolated myself. And if I want to talk to them, we can sit in a Discord call or a call in general, like party chat as a PlayStation. But we're not playing together. You know why we're not playing together? Because the truth is, as much as I hate to say that, if we're doing, let's say, StarCross in 7 minutes, and then as a team, and I decide to go and do like creation, I can do it in like 4 minutes to 5 minutes. Of course, I'm gonna choose the one that has less time because that's called efficiency. We always go for the, what's fastest. Therefore, sorry guys, I'm gonna go farm alone. Because the reward from both is the same. I'm still looking, after I hit 400, I'm still looking for that 5% drop. Whether I do it here or here or here or here, I'm still looking for that. So I'm gonna ignore all of that and really just focus on what's fastest. And that's logic. So now I feel like I'm not doing much in the game. Like this whole season, for me, I would say 95% of it is solo ops. I play alone. I wake up, I play alone. I get invited to raids as a raider, communicate with my clan. I can't because I want to make it as a completionist, as a person that done the grind since day one. And I know the excuse will be it's optional, you're not forced to do it. That's a shitty mindset from Bungie and anybody that says that. If you are a person that enjoys the grind and this is like your thing, you can't come and tell us don't do the grind. That's just shitty argument. You enjoy the game to do whatever the game throws at you. There's differences between complaining to complain and then complain to fix, because you're passionate about this game, that it's part of your life. It's your second home. You made friendships. It made you who you are and made you a better person. So this game isn't just a game we play. And I feel that, and others, I feel like when we sit in chats, we talk, we know how we feel, and then maybe someone out there can take this information as a group and voice yourself. Whether we will be heard by Bungie or not, it's really not our choice. Sometimes I feel they're listening from the left ear and then it goes to the right ear and nobody cares. And that's okay. You express your opinions based on, again, your stats and who you are as a person. And then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Now that we reach to this level of being in a prison, and it's criminal to trap the player into one thing the entire game, which is, hey, to get 450 that you have a 5% drop rate, you must struggle, you must suffer. And you know what I really, really want to do? And it sounds so toxic, but this is what you've done to us, and what you've done to us is toxic. I want whoever made the decision for this 5% drop rate, whether it's a person or a group of people, as a punishment, I want you to go do this grind that we've done and stream it so people can watch you and tell me how you feel. Go from 400 to 450 of the drop rate of 5%, in theory 5%, and go do 1 to 20 last sectors to get one drop, that's if you're lucky, do that. And tell me the system that you made, how fun is it? When you isolated me as a grind, as a person that loves the grind from my friends, from the things that I enjoy in the game, like raids and teaching raids and LFG, and you name it, like whether I'm doing a dungeon or like going back to raids or raids farms, go do that. Again, the argument will always be, well, you don't have to do that. You don't, nobody told you to do that. Everything is a choice, everything is optional. Going back to the same point, that's a shitty argument for people who want to grind better weapons, better stats, and to get to this better stats and weapons, I need to hit a certain level. Not just a certain level, a certain rank as well, which is 9, which is obviously, like right now we can't hit 10 and 11 because time gated. Bungie, of course, likes to time gate things, as always. Like, again, nothing new. Now, we have all of this negative information from, like, again, passionate player. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, if the passionate player like me that put the work for years, since 2017 until now, is complaining, is speaking, it's a really a wake-up call. It should be a wake-up call. People should be, like, and Bungie concerned because, oh my god, if the passion player who never complains is complaining, we have a problem here. We need to do better. We need to actually listen, because I feel like we're not being listened to. And that's a big problem, because you're killing the game. You're actually killing the game. I remember so many people used to play the game. When I used to make an LFG post, seconds, it's already full. It's hard. People are not raiding. They're not doing dungeons. When I look to my friend list, it's all Caldera. It's all last sectors. And we barely get together to do things like before. We still get together and raid and do things, but not like before, because everyone is busy to level up. Some of my friends in clan care about power level, some don't. Like right now, it's really, he cares about it, I care about it, he cares about it. Yes, our clan, our group, they're the people who grind, and obviously they're not hot right now because nobody wants to play the game. But you see, like, you know, my teammates here, they're passionate about what they do. We're not the best clan in the world. We're not anything like special. We're just a clan, just like any clan that enjoys this game, that we grind, that we have passion, and we're good at what we do as a clan and what we do. So he's 450, he's 450, and I'm 450. We do the work. We're passionate. We love it. And this is obviously, like I said, a little bit of background about me as Accessner and then our clan, our group. But it's not pay attention to us. Pay attention to the world. Pay attention to the whole Destiny. People are quitting. The casual players, they're quitting. If you really look to what's really going on, you have 24 hours in a day. Let's say 8 hours to your sleep. Let's say 8 hours to your work. Now you're left with 8 hours. Let's say 4 hours to yourself as a human. Maybe the distance to go to work or getting ready to sleep. Maybe you got left, as this is for the, you know, casual average human. You have now 4 hours. For this 4 hours, for him to just get on, he or she, into the game and farm 10 to 20 last sectors for one drop to push a level, and that's one drop. Sometimes you need 2 drops, sometimes you need 3 drops that are rated at 5% just to push from 400 to 401, and then the cycle continues 2, 3 up to 450. That's not fair to this poor individual that he just wants to get on and enjoy the game. And I know it's impossible for an average player that doesn't, he has his life going for him to hit 450, because the system sucks ass. And again, sorry for my language, but the system sucks ass. And it's not just me who feels that. Many other individuals feel this. Again, I'm gonna make 2 clips. One clip is the negative. I introduce myself, and I'm talking like right now about the negatives, like what we really witness. And this, of course, there's more. And I'm gonna attempt to make another clip, like part 2 of this discussion, so I don't drag this for too long. And I'm gonna drag it, to be honest with you. And that's because I care. If I'm talking, it's because I care about this game that changed my life and introduced me to many wonderful people, clan and friends that until this day, 8 years, 10 years later, they're still here, whether I've known them for 10 years or 2 years or even I just met them. It's my second home after my home, and this is where I have my friends, my social place, my safe, my outlet. When I feel like life is just not going well for me, I go and log on Destiny. And the last thing I want to do, I'm already having a bad day, and isolate myself further. But then the social aspect, to get distracted, to go in LFG, to go to talk to your friends, there is nothing more beautiful than that. To feel that you have a voice, to feel like the people around you, and then you do whatever you want to do. You tease each other and all that. This is what Destiny is all about. This is why it stayed for this many years, even if we didn't get what we get, even if we never got what we asked for, but we still logged because we have people. And it's really what kept this game going, is people, not solo ops and the system being the system. Now, like I said, like the summary of the negative, uh, gaps need to be filled. Again, it doesn't. It's just right in front of you. Gaps to be filled. Diversity should be giving. Uh, Fairness between all of this, and again, fill the gaps. If this is given 3, everything should be giving 3. I understand the differences between this takes longer, like I said. And then if you're gonna create something called Fire Team, and then matchmaking is on, but you have a unrealistic difficulty for your average Destiny player, and then like, okay, well, I don't like this, I'm gonna customize this, confirm. Oh wait, you just turned it off. Now I am forced to play alone. And then I go sit here in the last sector and then farm and farm and farm. Now, just one thing, because I highlighted this when I said this is difficult. I am not in any shape or form disrespecting that 1%, because I consider myself in 1%, even if I may not have certain stats to back me up, but I consider myself in 1% as a person that does the grind, that hunts the tiles or triumph, or like I said, a day one raid. So I fall in the category of 1% based on what I've showed you. But that doesn't mean disrespect the 1%. I think every player, we have 3 tiers of players. We got, hey, I'm new, and then you got the medium tier, which is I've been playing but I'm casually playing, and then you got the 1%. All these guys should have, events in the game that helped us to engage with them based on our difficulty. And that comes down to the Desert Perpetual, like for, when you do the campaign and all that. And then you have Desert Perpetual. Like when you do customize, I get to choose whatever I want to choose. If I want to go insane and just lose my mind, perfect. Like, this is for all the type of players. You want to challenge yourself, you want to go crazy, go do that. This way you satisfy that 1%, and it's deserved because they do have a voice. They are the most passionate players in the game, and they definitely deserve a voice. That doesn't mean the others don't deserve a voice. What I'm trying to say, everyone has a voice. Everyone should be, in a way, giving, in general, a voice. Your player base is at 100%. They all matter, and you should make it happy for all of them. And I'm not even gonna get the discussion about the raid, how we went down. The delta is wrong, the bugs that we dealt with, and obviously the cheating. But again, this is not the subject of this. I'm like, right now I'm focusing on the negatives, and then, like I said in the other clip, part 2, we'll focus on the positive in sense of a fix. Like, it will be just like, what can you do to fix? But I'll end the clip here. I think not just me, many streamers cover this. Like, hey, we don't want to sit in solos to isolate ourselves, and the grind is slow and it's not fair. Pour more things. We need diversity. Stop forcing certain things like battlegrounds on us over and over and over. And it's not fairness. There's no fairness in the drops rate, and there's no fairness in what we get. Weapons are amazing. Stats changes are amazing. The armor we're getting is amazing, but really, fundamentally, nothing has changed, to be real. It actually got worse. And I know they said, we hear you, but they went and made it worse. Then we complained. And then we went back to the same cycle. Okay, let's fix it. It shouldn't be that way. Before you get the cake out of the oven, make sure it's well done. And if it's not well done, put it back so it doesn't end up being really horrible cake. If you're not ready to launch an expansion because you're not ready, take a little bit of time to make it ready so you don't have these issues. All of this feedback that we gave and all of what I'm talking about right now, it should be given from day one. But it's okay. I don't expect perfection from everyone. Bungie are humans at the end of the day. They make mistakes. But don't make the same mistake and make it even worse. We're telling you, hey, that's a problem in the power progression and what's really going on. And then you go and nerf. And then wait, people are angry, and then, okay, fine, we'll go back to that. What is this delusional decisions, and who makes them, and what communication you have there? Wake up. Wake up, because what you have is a phenomenal, remarkable game that has amazing people, passionate people, no matter what level you are, and then you're destroying it and you're killing it. So I'll end this part and I'll talk about part two, and hopefully part two is maybe a fix. And I don't care. I personally don't care if I'm gonna be hurt or not, but I need to let this out. So that should be it for part one. I'll let you know about part two soon. But yeah, wake up, Bungie. Like, legit, wake up.